So with this digital tool really helps to get the kids a lot more involved in their learning and taking an active role in the learning process. Now, if you've been teaching for a long time, you might have noticed with the students nowadays, a lot of them tend to have a much shorter attention span than what we used to see, previously. Students these days are also a lot more distracted because of the cell phone. They're playing with TikTok all the time. Their attention span is about less than a goldfish. A lot of them are also disengaged in class, and also because of, a lot of them are used to using a cell phone all the time. They're on the internet all the time. So they're always used to having constant stimulation and instant gratification. And so it's difficult to keep their attention and to maintain their attention. And a lot of us might have witnessed this, especially late in the day when the students are tired and you're giving your lecture and it's important, students need to learn. Meanwhile, you might see them trying to look underneath their desk at the cell phone. They're starting to get distracted. But your lesson is important. They need to listen. But at the end of the day, maybe they're tired. They're starting to drift off, looking at the phone. How do you maintain their attention? That's the problem. Or sometimes you think you have their attention, everyone's listening, and then finally, once you're done with the lecture and you give them some sort of assessment, maybe something to work on, you find out that, hold on, I thought everyone was understanding, they were all nodding their heads, but then it turned out once it came to actually doing the work, they found it difficult to do. And meanwhile, you already finished your lesson. So now maybe you have to spend more time repeating that lesson the next day. It might make you fall behind if you're on a fixed schedule like we are in the EFP department. And then another problem that also exists when you want to find a digital tool that can help improve interaction in the class is that sometimes when you find these digital tools, a lot of them, maybe it will only one person will be responding at a time. You're not getting the whole class involved at the same time simultaneously. A lot of them also that I've noticed as well, maybe they have a lot of nice tasks, a lot of nice activities, but the presentation is a little too juvenile for a university setting. That's a big problem that I noticed. Another problem also is, okay, maybe they have a lot of good questions, a lot of good activities, but it's not really applicable to your field. Or another problem that I noticed, and this problem came up a lot when I was researching, is it looks great, it looks fantastic, but then you can only make 3 activities on the website. I make 3 activities at least in a day. It's not enough. So, and that's a really big problem, because I saw so many great websites out there, but you can only make 3 activities, 5 activities, it's not enough. So, once I went out there to go and basically do some research and just do some digging around online, I wanted to find a digital tool that is flexible enough to be able to use for multiple disciplines, whether it's math, physics, English, you name it. And I also want to have the entire class engaged simultaneously. I don't want anyone just sitting back and watching, the rest of the students interacting while they're just sitting and doing nothing. And we're all very busy people. I want to have also a library that's available that has a lot of pre-made materials. I don't know if I'm asking too much. And most importantly, to me at least, it's gotta be free, okay? Am I asking for the impossible? I don't know, because sometimes, if you've seen this triangle before, you wanna have it all, but you can't have it all. You gotta choose. If it's good, and it's free, or it's cheap, maybe it's not designed very well, it's not that good. Or maybe it's easy to use, and it's free, but it's not very good. There's a lot of that out there. I want it all. I want it to be good. I want it to be easy to use, and I want it to be free. Does such a website even exist? I don't know, am I asking for the impossible? But yes, I did find one that meets all my criteria. It's flexible enough to be used in pretty much any discipline. You can engage the entire class simultaneously. You have a library of very high quality, professionally made materials, and it is free. So this website, it's called Nearpod.com. So what we're going to do then today, I'm going to show you how you can use Nearpod, a library of lessons that are available, videos, activities, and so on. We're going to take a look also at some of the interactive, informative tools that are available on the website. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of how do you use each individual activity, because when I show it to you, you'll see it's really self-explanatory. So I'll give you a quick look at a few of them. but once you actually go and use it, it's very easy to use. And what I want to also show you today is, what do these different tools look like in student mode? What will your students actually see? Okay, so let me switch on over then to Nearpod. Okay, so this is the website here. I made an account. You don't have to put any credit card, don't worry. Totally free, just put your email and that's it. Okay, so this is the dashboard that's available. Now, if you want to access the library, you're a very busy professor or instructor, you don't have a lot of time, but you do want to get your students involved in some sort of activities online here. So you can see that the library here is really extensive. There's a search bar that's here, so if I want to look for something like, let's say, adjectives, for example, you can see that there's a ton of resources that are available, and it also mentions the grade levels. So a lot of these are too low for my students. So you'll find on the side that there's a filter. So I can filter the results based on, do I want to find some lessons? Do I just want the activities, or do I want some videos? And I can also filter it based on the grade. So maybe for EFP, maybe we might use something at the 6th grade level, 5th grade level, depending on your students. Or if you're teaching at the degree level, then of course you want to have something at the higher education level. Okay, so I can filter this. I can just click and I can filter. So maybe I want to have something at the 6th grade level with lessons, let's say. And then it will narrow down the search. Of course, you'll also find there's a lot of math and science related lessons as well. So let's say, for example, I'm a math teacher and I am doing factoring. So you can see that there's also a lot of resources here. And what you'll notice also, I don't know if you can see back there, but a lot of these are professionally made. So you don't have to worry about, there's a lot of sketchy looking stuff that's online. You might not have mistakes in it. These are professionally made. So these are made by Nearpod, Khan Academy, STEMify. These are all professionally made. And when you see the quality of the lessons that are available, it's really high quality. It's really nice. So if you want to go and use one of these lessons and teach it in your class, what you can do then, I'm going to preview it here first. Okay, I want to see if this one's useful for my class. And once I go and I preview it and I see that, okay, this one looks pretty good, there's 11 slides in there and looks pretty nice. Okay, all I have to do is just click add to my lessons. And it will add it to my dashboard. Then from there, I can just go and, I'm going to go back to my dashboard here. Okay. And you can see that activity or that lesson that I got from the library is there. Then from there I can go and I can questions that are there, or I want to change some of the language, maybe simplify it a little bit or so, I can do that in the lesson that's here. So if you want to edit anything, you just double click it. So let's say, for example, I want to change this equation that's here. I'm going to double click. And you can see the layout is very clean, it's very straightforward. So if I want to go and modify anything, I can just go and click here. Okay, or this one here is a picture. That's the solution here. Let me just click that. Let's say, for example, I want to add my own question. So if you click on the add button that's here, add new. I can go and modify this lesson that I took from the library then. So if I want to add some more slides, some more explanations, if I want to add some more math problems, I can do that. For example, I can create some quiz questions. Okay, so if I click on quiz, for example, you'll see here it's very clear, it's very self-explanatory. That's why I was saying when I show you the different tools, I'm not going to go one by one to show you because it's really clear. The question box is there and then you just put the answers. So I can go and write a questionnaire if I like, and then just save it, and it will save it to that lesson. Now, I want to show you also a demo that I created here so that you can see exactly what tools are available. There's so many tools that are available, and it's really useful whatever your discipline is, whatever your field is. Now, you'll notice when I hover over one of these lessons, like here's the demo that I have. So when I hover over it, you'll see that there's two options that are available. There's live participation and there's student-paced. The student-paced one is really useful for, let's say, for example, you want your students to have access to the lesson that you taught, and they want to have some extra practice. Then they can use this one to review, let's say, for a test that's coming up or extra practice that they need. And the really cool thing also is, if you make it available for the students, this link will be available to them for up to 30 days, up to a month. So they just use the same link that they use in the live participation, and they just input this code. Just like Kahoot, if you're familiar with Kahoot. So it works the same way. So if the student wants to go and practice this activity again, they can just go to join.nearpod.com, input this code will work for a month, and it can go back and they can practice that lesson again for up to a month. So that can help them to prepare for a test, let's say, or to get some extra practice. But in our case here, we're going to do live participation. I'm going to start a new session here. Okay, so if everyone could please go to join.nearpod.com and then input this code. So if everyone could please go to this site, join.nearpod.com. Let me open up Word doc so I can make it bigger there. Okay. So we're going to go to join.nearpod.com, and you're going to input the code that's there at the top of the screen. Let me just put it here so you can see it better. So join.nearpod.com. If everyone can please open this.
Do you have the code?
And once you're on that page, if you could please input the code. So the code is NHD7Y. So I'll give everyone a chance to do that.
NHD7Y. NHD7Y.
So just like in Kahoot, as people enter the lesson, I can see them start to appear. So this will start to populate. So as people start to join, there is a little bit of a lag, 5-10 second lag. But as people start to join, think you better, then I will see you up here. So the code is NHD7Y. It's up there at the top. The really cool thing also is, let's say, for example, if you have a student who's coming in late, or maybe they missed the beginning of the lesson, they can still join the Nearpod. Here at the beginning, then you're locked out. They can still join at any time. Or if the internet drops, because we have a lot of internet issues, they can still join the Nearpod lesson. So just go to Nearpod, join.nearpod.com. So it's right there. Okay, great. There you go. 31. Fantastic. And you can input your name. Great. Okay. So inside Nearpod, there's many different tools that you can use. There's slides, questions, 3D models, 360 panoramas that you can explore also as well. So what I want to show you on this slide, this is just a basic slide, but what I want to point out to you on the slide is that you can include videos, images, GIFs. Even the GIFs are animated. You can see that here. And you might also notice there's this little icon in the top left corner on your phone, or if you're on your computer. If you click on that icon, it's really cool. It uses the Microsoft Immersive Reader. What that does is, it's basically TTS. It's the text-to-speech functionality. So if you have students that are weak in English, okay, the students can click on this little icon, and it will actually read the text that's on the slide. But that text has to be written there as text, not as part of a picture. But if you have, the text written on the slide, then when you click on this button, you're going to see this menu pop up. You can adjust the speed of the voice, and you can also choose if you want a male or a female voice. So it's really cool. And not only that, but because it's using the Microsoft Immersive Reader, it will actually go and it will say each word, like it will highlight each word as it says it. So it also helps the students understand a lot better, and it helps them to learn how to read better. It helps with their pronunciation and so on. So it's really, really cool. I haven't seen a lot of resources or websites that incorporate the Microsoft Immersive Reader. Now, I have a free account. So with the free account, it is pretty generous. So you can have up to 40 students at a time joining the lesson or joining the session, and your library storage is 100 megabytes. If you want to have 50 things in there, as long as it's below 100 megabytes, you're fine. So you can have as many activities, as many lessons as you want, just keep it below 100 megabytes. So I would recommend maybe don't have too many large videos or very large images, like especially if the image file size is really large, just try to keep it low, and you should be okay. At least for the semester, it should be enough. So the next slide here, I'm going to show you some of the tools that are available. So you'll see that there is a wide variety of formative assessments. There's simulations for the math and the science instructors. There's collaborative tools also as well, if you'd like to use some of the cats that Dr. Val was talking about. So you can see some of them here, like for example, you have the slides, like we saw at the beginning of the presentation here. So if I go back, this is a slide here, for example. I can also include videos, 3D models, Microsoft Sway, if you know that one, BBC Video. I can do 360 VR trips. That would be especially helpful for like history class or in a art class, for example. There's also the Physics Education Technology Simulations, the PHET, which also includes math simulations as well. This is really cool, so we're going to take a look at some of those. These are some of the assessments and that are available. So you have, of course, the quiz, matching pairs, open-ended questions. The cool thing with the open-ended question, I had one that was in there, but I deleted it later. But with the open-ended question, like what Dr. Val was talking about, because a lot of times students are shy, they don't want to speak up in class, but maybe they're more willing to write. So they can respond at the end of your presentation or at the end of the lesson. They can answer one of the cats that Dr. Val had in the open-ended question. But a really cool thing in the open-ended question is they can also respond by voice. So they can leave a voice note also as well. So if they're not very confident about their writing, at least they can leave a voice message. So that's really cool. So this is an example then of a quiz. You'll see it on your phone. You can go ahead and you can answer. So you can put as many responses as you like for the answers that are available. So you can go on ahead, you can answer. Today is February 16, 17, or 18. Go ahead and answer. Okay. Another thing that you can also do, which is really neat, is when you have the quizzes, you can have multiple answers. So multiple correct answers. So I believe in Kahoots, like they have that option, but it's hidden behind a paywall. Now I can do it for free. Okay, so if I want to have multiple answers for students to click on, I can go ahead and they can click. So in this case here, you're going to select all the options that are colors.
Blue and green. A and C. Blue, green.
And another thing I want to point out on this quiz question is, in your quiz, you can include also pictures as well. So if you can't see the picture very well, on your phone, just click on the image and it will enlarge it. So you can include pictures and videos inside the quiz question itself. So now you'll see at the top here, there's a little slider for student mode and teacher mode. Right now I'm in student mode. I'm going to switch over to teacher mode and see how many people have responded so far. So let's see, okay. We have quite a few responses. You can see also a breakdown here as well. So you can see that 70% of the answers here are correct. We have a few incorrect ones. I can share the responses here as well. So I'm going to share the response. It will go, and on your screen you're going to see how many answers you have correct. So it will tell you have 2 out of 3 correct, 3 out of 3 correct, and so on. Now, if the students are shy and you don't want to know who made mistakes, yes, you can hide the student names. So I'm going to hide the student names. So no one can see.
Show us the ones who go wrong. It was Fadak. Fadak.
It's all discreet.
They see you, Fadak.
They don't feel the pressure that they have to cheat. Everyone's going to know that they made a mistake. Hide the names, no problem.
Fadak.
If you are a math instructor, for example, or you want to use the whiteboard to explain a point, maybe you found that a lot of kids got number 2 wrong. And you can go back and open number 2, and I can pull out my whiteboard. Sorry. I can go and I can pull out my whiteboard and say, okay guys, a lot of you got this one wrong. Let's go through this one together. And we can open up the whiteboard and you can write on it. Why isn't it working? I don't know why it's not working here, but okay, there's just a lot of lag here. But anyways, it was working better on my computer. But there's a whiteboard that's available if you'd like to write on the whiteboard, and then all the students will see you're writing on the whiteboard. Sorry for the screen. Okay, now it's better. That's good. Okay, so let's say, for example, okay, I can say 1 + 1, and it will show up on all the students' screens. Okay? That's good also, especially if you have the larger classes where the students can't see very well, they're far away. So this will help them to see, what's on the board a little bit better. They can just look at their phone or their cell phone or their computer. Okay, now this next task here, this one is a matching. You can put a timer also on the activities as well. So on this one, I set a 15-second timer. You can adjust it to whatever amount of time that you want to give. In this case, I just put 15 seconds. What I also want to point out to you in this example is you can also include mathematical symbols as well. So it's really very versatile. You can use it for math, English courses, or so on. I'm going to switch to teacher mode, and I'm going to start the activity now. So you have 15 seconds to answer. Don't worry about making mistakes, your name is hidden. Okay. The timer is also up there as well. And then once students are done, they can review the answers together by clicking.
You're matching it
I'm going
together
to move
too.
along because I don't have a lot of time. So we're just going to move along, but at least you can see that you can have different activities. Quiz questions, matching, you can set a timer, you can put mathematical symbols, and then we can see the answers here together.
So you're matching. There you go.
Answers.
Aquarium, area of circle.
Okay.
We didn't have time really to see it.
I think she's running out of time.
Now, over here we have fill in the blanks. Now, with the fill in the blank, if you use the Canvas fill in the blank before, you might remember it was a bit of a nightmare because of the case sensitivity and
Something
so
we
on.
can use
In
with
this case, you
students.
don't have to worry about that because you're just going to drag and drop the words into the spot. So go ahead and you can try that on your phone. So today is something, February 16. The something is something. All you gotta do is just drag and drop.
Drag and drop.
So today is
Oh, this is great.
and then once you're done, go ahead and put it down.
What's happening back there?
We were having trouble answering.
And then at the end, it will
It's
display the
really-
answer for
blame it
students
on
to
this.
see and check their work.
Everyone's tired, I think.
Now, another really cool option that's available is, let's say you're showing a video in class and you want to include some questions in the video. There's a lot of websites that can do that. But what I like about Nearpod is you have everything underneath one roof. So I don't have to keep exiting out and going into different websites and trying to get the kids to log in. They just need to log in once and everything is there. So we're going to take a look at this video here. It's just a really short video. But what I want to point out is with the videos, it can be teacher paced or student paced. So what that means is we can watch the video together as a class, or the students can watch it on their cell phone. I'm going to put teacher paced, so we'll just watch it up here. But in either case, the questions will show up on your cell phone. So I'm going to put teacher. And okay, looks like the internet is a bit slow. But what I just want to point out here, because the internet's slow, it's not really working, and I don't have a lot of time. But these little blue dots, these indicate the questions. So when we reach this timestamp, then this question will appear. So for example, the question I had was, what number was last shown? And then when the answers are shown there, you can show it as a pie graph, or you can show it as a table. And you can also share the solutions there as well. So it will show.
Oh, that's
from
going
a
to
YouTube
definitely
video.
wake them up.
I want to move ahead. It's stressful. Okay. Now there's also 3D models. I would recommend the 3D models. Like if you're introducing the students to the topic, it's especially good for biology. They have a lot of biology-related ones. I don't know if you can see it on your cell phone. It's a bit small, but you'll see like there's microscopic, human body, and so on. So the next slide here, go ahead and you can manipulate it. So you can rotate it, you can zoom in. It's really cool.
I love that. Nice.
Circulatory system.
Oh,
You can go and explore it.
I want to go and teach biology now. This is great. Look at this.
My kid.
So I'm going to jump ahead. Sorry, I have to go a little bit quickly because I don't have too much time. But I want to show you this. This is really cool, especially for the art and history classes. You can travel around the world. You can even go to Mars. There's tons of places that you can travel to. You just type it in the search bar and you can pull it up. So I'm going to try. I haven't been able to travel for 5 years now. I'm going to visit my favorite place in DC, the Library of Congress. So here's the really cool thing. If you hold your phone like this, like you're just moving it, you can. It's kind of like AR, like augmented reality. So if you move your phone like this, like you pan it, the image will also pan as well.
Amazing.
Now, if you don't want to do that,
Absolutely
you can
amazing.
just use the usual, kind of,
Great.
doing this on your phone, the pinch
Awesome.
and to zoom in and zoom out. You can do
Awesome,
that, or you
awesome.
can just put your finger on the screen and you can pan the screen as well. So it's really cool. And you can visit, there's tons of places you can visit. Like I said, you can even go to Mars. It's really neat.
I'd like to go up the
Sorry, I
stairs.
gotta go a little bit quickly, but I'm gonna just jump ahead here. Okay? If you like to visit it, you can make an account. It's totally free, and you can visit wherever you like. Now, at Vermont, I didn't forget our math and science professors. My father was an engineer, so I always try to keep their math professors in mind. There's a lot of really great simulations that are available. There's tons of them. I have a little snapshot there, but if you go to the program, you'll see there's a long list of them. So, here's one of the simulations that's available. This one is for balancing a chemical equation. So go ahead and give it a try. There's different levels that are there, so if your student is more confident, maybe they might go for level 3. But if they're not too sure, maybe they might go for level 1. Okay? So you can go ahead. Now, on my computer, this was showing up. Oh, okay. You can go ahead and you can try to balance the equation there. Okay, so let's say this is hard. You gotta remember chemistry class.
Badriya, I failed.
Okay, got it. And there's multiple challenges, so they can do it up to 5 times, and they can start over, and they can get more practice. So there's multiple levels there as well, and there's tons of other simulations. Math, everything is there, and it's all free. Next thing I want to show you, this is really cool. This is the collaboration board. So with the collaboration board, when you go and you make it, so this is what it looks like when you click on collaboration board and you want to create it for your class. So you can put the topic, you can put a picture also for your topic there, and the students can respond with an image. So you can see that here, and you can change the template. So if you want a blackboard or you want post-it notes or so on, you can change the look of it. So we're going to try out the collaboration board here. So like what Dr. Val was saying, maybe the students, you can have like an exit question, and the students can post in the collaboration board. If you have a class that's full of goofballs and you want to make sure they don't say anything silly, you can also approve of their comments before they can post it in public. I'm going to say no. We're all professionals here. I'm not worried. Okay, I'm going to say no. So my question is, what is your favorite place to visit in Kuwait? Go ahead and you can type something. And once someone puts something there, I was going to say, that's my favorite. I'm going to be asked to put up.
All of us home.
You can go and you can favorite or you can like the top, like different comments. And then after that, you can go
Somebody said
and
home.
you can reorganize all the comments.
There's
that
an
people
introvert's
posted
here.
based
It's
on
beautiful.
what time did they post it. How many likes does it have? So I'm going to organize it by likes. So we can see the top one is home and the beach. Those are my top 2. Also.
Yes.
But you can also order it
The beach
by
and home.
alphabetical order as well, if you like. So we can see that so far. Yes.
Badriya's house.
Oh, Badriya's house.
Badriya's house.
But the top place where all instructors and professors will share you. Y'all love our home. Okay, so just moving along.
Brilliant.
Now you can also link websites, PDF, documents, and so on. So on the next slide, I'm going to link to our website. Now the cool thing is, go ahead, you can scroll that website. So you can scroll down. So if you want to show your students a website, they can still actually use the whole website inside the Nearpod screen. So you can go ahead, you can scroll up and down in that. Sorry, I'm going a little bit quick. But the last feature I want to show you here is the polls. There's lots of websites out there that have polls. But like I said, the cool thing about Nearpod, everything under one roof. You don't have to jump between different websites. So my poll question is, was this demonstration helpful? You can pick multiple options, by the way, so you don't have to just pick one. So let me know. Let's say it was helpful, it wasn't helpful, somewhat. Website seems too complicated, or you're not really interested. Let me know. I'd like to know. Okay. Now,
A resounding
once you're all
yes.
done, okay, I'm going to just wrap things up very quickly here. Once you're all done with your lesson, and the students have, I have more than 40 people, so that's why that window showed up. But once you're all done, and the students have made their responses, you taught your lesson and everything, so you can see exactly who was participating, how well did they did. It will generate a very nice report, and it will break down all the questions and all the answers, and you can see who responded to what questions, how much did they participate, so it will email me automatically. I don't have to do anything. Okay? And then you can also view the reports later on. So I'm going to close the session now. Okay? But if I want to see that report at a later date, I can access them right here. I can see all the reports for that particular lesson. So like for this lesson here, because I was testing it at home, so you'll see there's so many reports that are there. So if I click on this, Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close right here, but you can see that, yes, the report is there, the breakdown is there. You can look at the different pairs. What do people say in the different options here? It's really, really neat. And you can also share that collaboration board. You can email it to your students as well with all the responses. So I hope this tool will come in very helpful for your classes. And I hope your students will also enjoy it as well. So thank you so much.
She's going to apologize. Bless her heart.